Hey guys, welcome back to a new 16-bit pickup video. So yeah, today's going to be Amiga again. I've got a few more games to show you that I've picked up recently. So yeah, this should be fun. So I thought I'd just start before I do anything. I just want to say a big thank you to Paul and Mr. Bad's Games. If you're subscribed to Paul, you'll know that I recently won his competition. So I want to say a massive thank you to Paul. That was totally unexpected, and I actually forgot that I was even entered in the competition. So, so yeah, cheers, Paul. Really do appreciate that, mate. It was very nice of you, very generous. Right, so as I say, I've got some Amiga games. I've got a couple of small box games, and I've got, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big box games. So yeah, I've been buying a few. It's took me a while, but you know, they've accumulated nicely. So I thought, you know what, better do a video, hadn't I? So here we are. So yeah, before I start as well, another thing I want to talk about. I've had a couple of people close to me been asking me about, like, you know, how can you collect the games, not have the computer, and isn't it driving you mad not having the Amiga to play them on? Yeah, absolutely, of course it is. But I'm sure there's other people out there who watch these videos think the same thing. But you know, at the end of the day, I feel so much more comfortable about this whole retro collecting and playing thing at the moment. Nothing like I used to be. So I'm in no rush. I'm quite happy where I am. I've got the Mega Drive, I've got the SNES, plenty of games to play on those. So that gives me my 16-bit hit when I need it. The Amiga will come eventually. There's a lot of cost involved in the Amiga, unfortunately. It's not as simple as just buying an Amiga. It can be if you want it to be. But I'm sure if everyone out there, any of you guys buy Amigas and play Amigas, you know that, you know, you have to make sure they're refurbed, and especially with the 600, it has to be recapped as well because they tend to leak. And you know, if the disk drives ain't cleaned up, they can go wonky, and the disks themselves, you know, are never going to last forever. So it's a bit of a minefield. So there's a fair bit of cost involved here. You know, I need to get an Amiga 600 first of all. Then I need to get memory expansion. I want to get the PCM-CIA adapter, so I've put a CF in there, compact flash. I want to get a 4 gig compact flash in there with WHD load and all the games on it. I possibly want to get an accelerator card at some point because that looks quite interesting, and you know, I've been told that that's really something you need to get in there if you can. That's expensive, so that could, you know, it's not massively expensive, but it's just another expense on top. So that'll probably wait and I'll get it down the line, but that is something I'll look into. So yeah, so that's just the beginning. Then you've got the little things like the cable. So I want like an RGB cable, or it be a SCART cable if I I've got to buy a new monitor as well. So I'm not using that TV. I'm having it over there in that corner of the room. It's a dedicated computer area. The way that Retro Dave's got his set up, I thought, when I watched his game room video, I was really impressed, and it just spurred me on to think, yeah, that's the best way to make the most out of that spare area in my game room that's just doing nothing. It's just a blank wall. So I'm going to have a computer area over there behind the camera. So yes, so I need to get either a CRT TV, a small one, or a small CRT monitor. Not an easy feat because of where I live in the country. Most of them are either up north or down in London. Pain in the arse because most people don't ship either. So, and if they do ship, they get very expensive as well, of course, because of the weight. So yeah, so you know, then you've got the Amiga. You've got the memory upgrade, the possible accelerator card, the PCM-CIA adapter for the compact flash, the compact flash itself. Then you've got joysticks, you've got a cable, RGB SCART or VGA, RGB to VGA. You've got a mouse mat, you know, you've got a dust cover. You've got a new monitor or TV, depending on which one I get and which is the best, cheapest option. And then, of course, I need to put it on something, so I need a computer desk from IKEA. You know, so it all just starts adding up, and it's a lot of investment, and so it will happen, and it will happen in parts because I can't afford to do it all in one go. But you never know. You know, I think I was talking to Retro Dave the other day, and I said to him, I'm hoping at the moment, because there have been deals come up for good prices where an Amiga 600 recently was sold, and it had all the compact flash and everything already done. So that would be really cool if I could get a good deal and save some money by having one that's already been recapped, refurbed, had the floppy drive all sorted out and cleaned up. It's got a PCM-CIA and compact flash and all the business and the memory and all that. And if that can shave some money off, that would be sweet, because then all I've got to do is obviously get the monitor, the desk, and all the little bits and bobs, you know, the joysticks and the leads and the bloody dust cover and the mouse mat, and possibly a new mouse as well, unless one comes with it or a good joystick comes with it. Although most people tend to use zip sticks, and I know everyone loves zip sticks, but for me, they're too small for my hands. As a child, it's great. As an adult, they just cripple my hands. I used to like the Sonic speaking and all, but I had that with the 500 a couple of years ago, and again, it didn't feel comfortable. The only one that really feels comfortable as an adult is the Cruiser, which was one I had as a kid and I absolutely love. The one that's green with the pink stick and the yellow buttons, because it's actually quite a large stick. so I can like grip it real good and just waggle the stick and it's all good. So that's one I definitely need to get. But most people tend to have zip sticks, and I don't like zip sticks that much. So there you go. So yes, there's a lot of expense there. So it will be over a period of time. So I'm in no rush. I'm quite happy just grabbing the games while they're still cheap as well. Because if I waited until I got the machine, then the games would go up in price. Everything's going up in price in the retro market as it is at the moment. And then I just wouldn't be able to buy all the games I want. And some of the games are ridiculously pricey. And I was talking to Dave and I was talking to Alex Blue Tonic 78. And the way I look at it with the box games, I'm only buying games I actually want to physically own. Because some of the games are quite expensive now. There's a game like Agony is quite a lot of money. I think it was around about 80 to 100 or something last time I checked. A lot of money for a game, and it's not a game that I need to own boxed. I can play that off the compact flash and be quite happy with that. It doesn't mean anything to me. So I'm mainly buying games that, when I was younger, I only had a small amount of actual legal box games. So I'm buying those back. And then there's just a few others that I've played it, like when I was a kid I played them, and I played on the GoTech a few years ago that I really enjoy a lot, and I just thought it'd be nice to own physical copies, and most of them aren't expensive. So there you go. Long intro, but yeah, I think I've got the point across, I hope. Also, my voice sounds a bit wonky. I'm not sure if it does. But yeah, I've had a cold for the last few days, for like nearly a week now, and I've been feeling absolutely shite. So I'm just sort of coming over it a little bit. My temperature's still going up and down. It's driving me bloody mad. But I feel much better than I did yesterday. I've been chucking loads of Lemsips down my throat, and that's been helping a lot. Anyway, you're not here for the medical, are you? You're here for the game. So first up, we've got a small box game, which for some reason is a little bit more uncommon than I expected it to be. One of the first games I ever played on my Amiga 500 back in the day, and I thought this game would be super common, really easy to pick up, wouldn't cost a lot of money. Turns out, no, it's not that easy to get on eBay, because when I went looking for it, there were absolutely 0 copies available. Very weird. I was really surprised how limited this game seems to be. I don't know why that is. Maybe I haven't checked since, and maybe another one's been listed, but at the time I looked a couple of weeks ago, there was nothing on there. And so I was like, I was really pissed off, actually. I was like, I really want this game. So I had a look around, and what I usually do, if it's not on eBay, I'll check retrogames.co.uk just in case Jason's got any games on there. As it happens, he had this one. And I was like, brilliant. And it was a good price, and it's in really nice condition. So I was like, well, you've got to buy it, Pete. It's got to be done. So it is a fantastic shooter. As I say, one of the first games I played on my 500 back in the 90s. Was it the 90s or was it the late 80s? I don't even know when I actually got my Amiga. It's been late 80s, more than likely. Not 90s. Twat. Anyway, it is Xenon 2. Classic vertical shooter from Bitmap Brothers. As you can see, absolutely phenomenal condition. Very nice, very happy with this. I do like these little boxes actually. The big boxes are always the cooler ones, but these little boxes are actually quite nice, and they display really well. As you can see with James Pond up there, they look very nice. Yeah, it's not the greatest shooter in the world, I ain't gonna lie, but it's very nostalgic, and it's got the Bomber-based soundtrack, which is, extremely awesome and nostalgic. And it's just a fun little shooter. There's much better shooters on the system, of course, but Xenon 2 for me is a massive nostalgia game, so I had to grab that. So next up, from an eBay seller, I picked up a game that I picked up on the Super Nintendo a while ago, and it's not a game I'd normally play, but it's one that I had nostalgia for on the Amiga. So because I wasn't at the time thinking about buying box games for the Amiga, I was just going to go compact flash only. I decided to get it on the Super Nintendo, and it's fantastic on the SNES, great port, love it. But I just thought, screw this, if I'm going to start buying boxed Amiga games, I'm going to grab this. And it's only a tenner as well, so, delivered, so you can't argue with that. Anyway, it is Nigel Mansell's Championship. Is it World Champion? Yeah, Nigel Mansell's World Championship. Nice big box game. There's so many sounds that I associate with Amiga. It's really weird. And if you heard that when the disc dropped, then that's one of the sounds, which I absolutely love. There's something about that. There's the sound of the actual. Listen, look at that. It's just something about that. It's just memories fire off. Nostalgia. Yeah, there's that, and there's the discs themselves when you pull the little protective metal piece. I love that sound when you click them, and then when you put the disc in the drive, the way it clicks into place, and then when the Amiga actually reads it and it grinds the disc, and it's just like there's so many little touches. I love old school 16-bit computers. They're just so good. Right, so that's that one. And next up is a racing game. Obviously that's a Formula 1, but this is a different type of racing game. One of a series that basically defined the Amiga, I think. It's a phenomenal series of games. And this is my favourite one of the 3 games, I believe, So I'm going to get the other two at some point, but I had to grab this one because it was going cheap. Lotus 3 Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Challenge. Read it before you show it, Pete, that would be helpful. Yeah, love the Lotus games. I mean, this music on this game is stunning. It's great on all three of them, but this one is so good. And this is really cool because it's got the, is it $25.99, the original boot sticker there, and it's got the receipt inside here as well, which is really cool. And it's got a little piece of paper with some cheats written on it, which is, it's just so nostalgic. And I love, I've said before with my Super Nintendo stuff the same, I love when you get a game and it's got all those things that take you back, that like that have that touchstone really to the original purchase. I think that's really cool. And to see that the game's been loved, I mean, it's got wear around the box, you know, it's got the piece of paper with the cheats on. So someone at some point has owned this and has really cherished it and played it a lot, and I think that's great. Brilliant game, by the way. Okay, so these last 4 games I've got to show you. Last 4, yeah. I got all of these from a fantastic eBay seller. Got a woman called Paulina, and she sells absolutely shit tons of Amiga stuff. And her eBay name is Gpixel, so there will be a link in the description if you want to check out her shop, because she's got tons of great games and she sells tons of accessories and hardware and everything Amiga really. And yeah, she's a really, really nice person, and I haven't been paid to do this, I'm just doing it because I think she's fantastic, and finding a good, reliable retro seller in the UK is bloody hard, and she's one of the best I've come across. Her packaging is like second to none, it's phenomenal. Just even for one game that I had come the other day, she used a massive box and about half a ton of bubble wrap on there. You couldn't even find the game, there's so much bubble wrap. Absolutely phenomenal job. I know she's watching my channel as well, so if you are watching this, Paulina, thank you, you've done a great job. So yeah guys, I'll put a link down in the description. Check out her shop if you're interested in Amiga games. She's got some great stuff. So first up is a small box game, a fantastic action platformer, one of my favourite games from back in the day. And it's a sequel. I didn't like the first one all that much. It's all right. I played them both on the Gothic actually a couple of years ago, and yeah, the second one definitely the best game. And I saw Alex Blue Tonic 78 pick this up recently. It is Switchblade 2. I mean, look at the colours, look at the artwork. Absolutely fantastic. It's such a good game. So nice. So yeah, I was really, really impressed. There was a guy I was watching not long ago. One night I was on YouTube. I can't remember what his channel name is now. And he had some videos from a couple of years ago that he did where he was doing live streams, playing games off an Amiga 600, and Switchblade was one of them. And I was watching him, I was like, oh, I missed that game. It's absolutely brilliant, so I'm really chuffed to get that one back. Oh. Next up, I'll say about the tea, although I've got to drink a lot because my throat is so dry and sore. So this next game I picked up is one that I've never played on the Amiga, but the first time I ever played it was a few years ago when I had a Master System. And at that time, I really liked the game. I'd never played it before, and I thought, that's a really cool little platformer. And I was talking to Alan, Irish Nerd Life, and I said to Alan at the time, this feels very Amiga. And he went, you know, it's funny you say that, because everybody I talk to who's an Amiga player always identifies Amiga ports, and it is an Amiga port. And I was like, ah. So I was really surprised that I could actually even notice that. It just felt like an Amiga game, it looked like one. But it is a great platform. I'm dying to play this version when I get my Amiga, to see what it's like with the full colours and everything. It is Global Gladiators. Actually quite a decent little box, an all nice blue box. Is it Mick and Mac in it, I think they're called. Is that the Mega Drive version when they called them that? I can't remember. But yeah, really cool. And you've got silhouetted on the back there as well. They're really colourful, beautiful Amiga rainbow background screenshots. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. It works on pretty much every Amiga by the look of it. You just need the 1 meg memory. 1 meg. That always makes me laugh, that does. But yeah, really cool little platform. I'm very excited to try this one out when I eventually get an Amiga to play it on. So next up are two, in my opinion, great games. One of them is one game that everybody would agree is a brilliant game. The other one, people would be like, that's a load of shite, but to me it means something. So first up, one of the best Amiga games ever created. A game that I've been playing and playing and playing on the Super Nintendo recently, and I just can't progress, and I'm getting frustrated with, but it's so good. But it is the classic, the Chaos Engine. The Bitmap Brothers, brilliant title there. And this one does come with all the art cards and everything included as well. So I paid a little bit extra because Paulina had a couple of copies available, and I wanted the one that had the art cards. I wanted to get the best version. So yeah, I mean, if you don't know what this is, it's a phenomenal steampunk top-down action game, and it is an absolute classic. And as I say, I've been playing it on the Super Nintendo a lot recently. I'm still only on World 2, unfortunately. I can get to the final stage, stage 4, but every time I get there, I've usually got 1 or 2 lives, and I just get my ass handed to me every time. I was playing it the other night and I just couldn't get anywhere. And the night before I played it, I managed to get through to stage 4 and died immediately. And I was like, oh, it's so stressful. But, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to, not World 4, stage 4 of World 2. I am going to get to World 3. I'm determined. I've got to beat that game. I don't know how many worlds are in it, but I'm going to beat it. The Super Nintendo version is a really, really nice port as well. I really like that a lot. But the Amiga version is, of course, the best version. Right, last game. So, last game is an absolute nostalgia classic for me. I know Tom, King Arthur, will appreciate this one. So, Tom, if you're watching, you probably just worked out what it is already. But this is a game that me and Tom absolutely love on the arcades, and Tom actually owns the actual arcade machine, which I'm so jealous of. And it's one that I played the hell out of as a kid. Whenever I went on holiday with the family, always went to this machine. I believe it was £1 a time, and all the time it was bloody expensive, but I used to absolutely cane it. And I remember the one holiday, I believe it was in Wales, I don't know where, but it was a family holiday with my cousin and my uncle, and my cousins and my uncle and my aunt. And me and our Roy, my cousin, who watches these videos occasionally, hello Roy if you are watching, yeah, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but we were playing Pit Fighter and Final Fight and Operation Wolf at the time, and this one out of those three is the one that I absolutely played the hell out of, and we beat it, and we had a crowd of kids around us, and it was a great time, and it is one of my absolute favourite arcade machines, and this is, for me, the best home port, and it is Pit Fighter. Now, I know a lot of people think it's shit, but for me it means a lot, and that's what matters. It's my collection, my nostalgia, and this is, I mean, look at that. It's such a nice port on the Amiga. Now, I did play it on the Gotek, I'll be honest, I didn't think it controlled particularly well, but graphically, it's as close as to the arcade you're going to get. I mean, I've played the Super Nintendo version, which is the absolute worst. It's diabolical. Did I play that? I'm sure there's a Master System version I played. I can't remember if I'm right about that. The Mega Drive version is actually really good, really playable. It's just that the sprites are tiny and shitty. So there's a real disappointment, but it actually plays exceptionally well. But the Amiga version is so close to the arcade. I remember getting that at Christmas when I was young. Absolutely stunning. I got it with Lemmings, which I got back there, and a couple of others, Mega Twins and Final Fight, which, by the way, Final Fight, ridiculously expensive at the moment, considering it's a shit port as well. I only want it for bloody nostalgia, and it's quite pricey. It's quite annoying. And Mega Twins, I ain't even seen a copy come up, so yeah. It's annoying that it seems to be the games that I have nostalgia for tend to go for bleeding money. They're never the cheap ones, which is quite frustrating. You know, it's like the Commodore 64. If I was going to buy one, I'd love a like fantastic pack, but they're bleeding pricey. So there you go. But yeah, Pit Fighter, man, I actually think it's a solid. I know a lot of people slag it off without even playing it, and you know, I think a lot of it is because of the digitised graphics. But it's actually a really fun, playable arena fighter, and the arcade machine in particular plays so well. I've always really enjoyed it. I like the fact that you get the weapons and you get the barrels and you can smash things over people's heads and kick the shit out of them, and the crowd will stab them and everything. It's just a really, really fun game. It's really unfairly treated as well, as far as I'm concerned. And it's not just because I've got a lot of nostalgia for it. I just don't understand why people think it's so shit when it really isn't. There's many worse games than Pit Fighter out there. It's just grown a reputation of being crap when, realistically, if you play the arcade version on MAME, it's not a shit game. Of course, everybody will go, oh yeah, it is. No, it's not. So there you go, guys. That's the latest Amiga pickups. So when I get some more, of course, I'll do a new video and show you them. SNES-wise, there ain't nothing coming up. I've been looking and there's bugger all at the moment, so that's going to take a while. And I've got plenty to play through anyway. Mega Drive, again, I've got plenty to play through. I will get more eventually, but there's no rush with that. I'm quite happy just, you know, get them when I can and just enjoying the games I've got to play at the moment. That's what matters the most. So yeah, there you go. That's it really. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've appreciated this video. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it if you do. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.